Today's mobility session is going to be focused on the thoracic spine or upper back, the lower back and pelvis, as well as the groin or adductor muscles. We're going to make our way down to our side. To begin with a book opener, bring our feet and knees up. We have a 90-degree angle at our knees, 90-degree angle at our hips. Hand's going to drop out in front. You can rest your head on the ground. You can rest it on your other arm and adjust this up here. You're going to take this arm, roll all the way open. Once you get back as far as you can, you're going to take a big, deep breath. And then you're going to come back over. And we are going to do 5 repetitions like that. What you might notice as you go back and you take some of those deeper breaths is that you get some cracking and popping in the upper back or the lower back. That's perfectly fine. In fact, a lot of times that frees up some mobility. The upper back and its mobility really takes a lot of pressure off the lower back and protects it from injury. The upper back's a great rotator, your lower back is not, so you want to make sure the upper back has the ability to pick up that stress. We're going to then go into hands and knees, and we're going to perform a cat-cow motion. So we're going to arch and round. Arch, round. We're going to do about 15 repetitions here, and then we'll finish back to the cat-cows on the other side before we move on. You should really feel as you round like you're pulling your belly button as close to your spine as you can, then you're arching your back down. We see this a lot in golf, especially right at that impact position where we have a posterior tilt of the pelvis. Same thing at the top of the swing in a tennis serve. You get about 3 more repetitions here. Make sure you're breathing, maintaining your breath, nice and controlled. And then we'll make our way down to the right side for book openers the other way. Again, we'll put that hand out front. We can rest on it if we'd like. Going to roll all the way open. Big deep breath. Exhale allows us to reach further down. And then we'll come back up. And we're going to do this 5 times. Again, the upper and lower back really have to work together in concert. The upper back's your rotator. Your lower back is a flexor and extender. If you start asking one to do the job of the other, that's when you end up with back pain. So it's important to take care of both and get the mobility from the place we're supposed to. Perfect. Now we're going to make our way up into a kneeling position. We're going to go into a wide stance. You want to be wide enough that you're starting to feel a little bit of a stretch through your groin muscles. You'll drop a hand down in front of you. You're going to open up to the outside, bring it down, and open up the other way. Now the key here is to make sure that your whole chest opens and you aren't just flipping your shoulder up. Make sure you're maintaining that controlled breath, and we're going to go to about 8 per side. This might be really stiff, but that's why you're here, and that's why you're doing this mobility program. It'll loosen up with time. Again, if you can, once a week is great for these. Twice a week for each type of mobility session is even better. And 1 more each side. Good. Okay, now we're going to bring our knees a little bit together just to get our balance. I'm going to move over here, kick my leg out to the side. Toes facing forward. In this position, I might feel a little bit of stretch here. I might not feel it yet, but I'm going to rock back until I do feel that stretch on the underside of the groin or adductor muscles. I'm going to breathe in this position and then rock forward. Drop back, breathe, rock forward. You want to keep a flat lower back here. If you feel like your back is rounding a lot, then you're going to try and arch it just like the cat-cow movement. That's going to help stabilize your pelvis and improve the stretch on your adductor muscles. Again, this stuff's all connected. If you don't stabilize your pelvis, you're not going to get the stretch on these muscles. They all change the position of one another. That's why it's important to address each one of them specifically. Let's do one more rock. And perfect. Now we'll switch legs. We'll go to the other side. Same position. Again, chest pumps up a little bit. Try and arch or straighten out that lower back. Rock back till you feel a stretch. And repeat. Again, always want to control our breathing. That's how we're going to get the most benefit out of this. Good. A few more. Hopefully it's loosening up as you go. Good. Perfect. Now we're going to turn. We already talked about the connection of things. We're going to go into that wide stance, and we're going to do the cat-cow position from here. Make sure you're breathing through it. We'll do about 10 before we switch to the next position. Drop back, roll onto your butt. Bring your legs out into a wide stance. Again, we want to bring them just far enough to have a little bit of tension. We don't want a ton of stretch yet, just a little bit of tension, because our next movement is going to amplify that stretch. Sit as tall as you can. You can set your hands here for some support. And what I want to do is rotate to each side. If you need to have your hands down and assist you in rotating, that's perfectly fine. Or you can do a combination of both. Still maintaining control of our breath as we move through these. Get the spine upright as possible. Still sitting tall. Like you got a string on top of your head, pulling you upright. Good. Deep breath. I'm going to bring our feet together. Now, some of you will be able to bring your feet together and you'll bring them here. Some of you will have them seated out in front of you. Doesn't matter, whichever one is most comfortable to you at the time. Again, we like a moderate stretch. Moderate stretch that we can hold is better than a really intense stretch that we can't move during. Sit tall, and then we're going to drop into a slight forward lean and come back up. Slight forward lean, back up, slight forward lean, and back up. And now we're going to add a few twists again. We can grab the opposite knee to help us. Good. Maintaining that collected, calm breath. That's such a big part of mobility and flexibility, is being able to control your breathing, which allows your muscles to relax. Again, chest is upright, spine is tall. Deep breath. And now we're going to end how we started with a few book openers. What we hope to see here is that these feel looser than they did when we started. And instead of holding a deep breath at the end, I'm going to do these a little bit faster. That way we can take the joint through the movement more times. Still breathing though. Alright, and we'll switch to the other side. Two more and we'll wrap it up for the day. And back over top. We'll go ahead and sit up. Check it out. I'll see you for our next session. And again, we're going to keep working mobility from a bunch of different angles, loosen everything up.